Zach Maslany now making his way to the stage. Maslany in the black and white. Expect fireworks, ladies and gentlemen.
It's Zach from 10th Planet Bethlehem.
10th Planet Bethlehem.
Veritable dream team of killers.
Him and JM
Yes, sir.
holding down the fort at 10th Planet Bethlehem.
Great technique. He's
a beast. He's a savage.
excellent coaches, I have to say. Great guys, JM and Zach.
That's a beautiful.
Great guys, JM and Zach.
Veritable dream team of killers.
He's a beast. He's a savage.
It's Zach from 10th Planet Bethlehem.
10th Planet Bethlehem. That's 10th Planet Bethlehem. It's a beautiful.
Great technique. He's
It's 10th Planet Bethlehem.
Now we are live. It's actually recording, and this is my first Skype call, and I'm on the Skype cauldron here with my longtime friend, training partner, and owner of Lanky Fight Gear, John Robinson. What's up, bro?
How's it going? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, hell yeah, man. This stuff, like I said, we were just chatting before. I was saying this is like the first Skype call that I've done, and I think I've done a couple of interviews with maybe like Rafa Esparza and some of the guys on Skype calls before, and I just never paid any attention to it. And then finally someone was like, dude, you got to have more guests. You know how everybody always says that shit. So I'm like, all right, cool. I can have more guests. So I'm going to my ace in the hole right now.
Well, this is my first podcast, but many Skype calls for work, so I'm used to this part.
Oh, nice. All right, cool. Actually, it is your first podcast. Holy shit.
It is, yeah.
Damn it. How have we never gotten you on the Finishers podcast, even though you've been sponsoring that since the dawn of time?
We talked about it, but, when I was in Baltimore, it was kind of hard, and now I'm closer. We'll get there eventually.
Yeah. You know what, man? It's even hard for us to do it because Ross, the boss who produces that one, he's working all the time, or honestly, he's doing some other type of project for us. So it's hard to get over there sometimes. Just, it was easy before. Me and JM and, Dan and everybody we lived in the same house, and everybody's chilling over there. So it's super easy to.
That makes it easy. You have to save me for episode 200. I'll come up.
Yeah, that'll be sick. Yeah, we'll. I think we're at like 120 something now, right? Or 119.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
Yeah, but I don't like to listen to the old ones. Some of them I have been throwing up because they're more just interviews like this, when I'm just like kind of interviewing Javi Vasquez or Eddie Bravo or something. But like the ones where it's just me and JM like bitching about shit and like cursing dudes out.
Yeah.
It's funny, but it's like, what was I thinking? So let them
do. Have to go back in the archives, for other people, new people, to go back and see where you guys came from.
Yeah, that's true though too. Like a lot of we even had one where we had Marvin, Davila, and Battle were all on it at the same time. Padilla was on it. It's just whoever was chilling over at the crib were like, yo, you want to be on the podcast?
Mm-hmm. That's cool. That's more natural that way.
Yeah, it was good combos and shit. But so how long? I'm so bad with like times and stuff like that. How long have I met you? Probably when I was 16. You think that was right, or 15? No, actually, you know what? It had to have been earlier because I definitely was not a black belt yet.
First time was right after Tiger Shulmans took over Master Glaziers, and I came over with Frank and Oakshi, and we were sparring with you guys. I think you were like a green belt. Yeah, I might have been a green belt, and like I don't know, what would you consider Master Glaziers? Taekwondo, kind of, right? It was point kind of point karate, but
and then we went from point karate to like Kyokushin or Tiger Shulman's karate. At the time, it was like continuous sparring. So I was like one of those. It was me and Garzillo, and like maybe one other person was like his brother was like, yeah, boy, this is finally what we've been waiting for. You know what I mean? But a lot of the people were not trying to do that. So it was cool. Like I tell people about these stories from back in the day when we would actually go and fight people at other schools, or not. We never ended up fighting anybody, but you guys came and fought us though. You guys came and fought us. That's right. I think I went against Frank, right? I mean, it was a karate fight, but still though, we were kicking the shit out of each other.
Yeah. No, I think, we came over, it's kind of like the introductory to Tiger Shulmans. Welcome to the real deal.
The family. Yeah.
Yep.
These guys are pussies.
See who's going to last, weed out the weak ones. That was kind of the mindset back then. But
a lot of people didn't. A lot of people didn't hang out though.
Yeah.
Definitely, a lot of people did not hang out for that day. I remember when Sensei V had the big meeting, and everybody was kind of like, "Oh, I don't know about this." But yeah, that's crazy. So yeah, I must have been like 14 then, I think, and I'm 36 now, which is crazy.
Yeah.
So Frank Chikagan, that's Caitlin Chikagan's brother. She's in UFC right now. She's actually ranked number 1. You see that?
Crazy. She's on a tear. That's awesome.
Yeah.
You would expect, when she was like 5 years old, purple belt, in karate back then when they still had that. It's insane.
Wow. Yeah, that's wild to see her out there just slanging kicks and punches. Danaher's in her corner and shit.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn it, Danaher. And whatever happened to that other dude though? Oakshi. Who knows
don't
where
know.
that?
He was one tough guy. But and once we started doing MMA and more of the no-gi jiu-jitsu and stuff, he kind of fell out. And I think he
Yeah.
liked the sparring part. That happens to a lot of people back then too. Once we started going on the ground, it kind of weeded out people that weren't into that.
That's true. Yeah.
A lot of people didn't stick around.
What was he like Armenian or something?
He was Sicilian.
Sicilian. Oh, okay. Hey, Sam Oakshi. Yeah, that guy was crazy. That was a horrible Sicilian accent, but that guy beat the shit out of me when I was a kid. Which is, I mean, he literally would beat like he would punch me in the ribs as hard as he could with MMA gloves on.
He had a wicked spinning back kick. He knocked me down. No problem.
Explain to people what controlled kicks to the head how is that possible? Like when I tell people stories, I'm like, you were allowed to kick to the head with a round kick, and they're like, what?
Yeah, you could kick to the head and do anything else, but just couldn't punch him in the face. So, but yeah, controlled kick was, I don't know, that was up for interpretation depending on, if we were like a tournament or something like that, who was the referee. But yeah, there weren't really controlled kicks to the head. Just kicks to the head.
Yeah,
I remember getting spinning hook kicked in the side of the head a couple times, full force.
Dude, we must have had iron chins. Like I feel like people might think I'm over exaggerating, but no, like you were allowed to. Even the kids like when JM and Kimok and were you teaching at Bethlehem? Do you remember Reggie Carter? Do you remember him? Reginald.
Yeah. I remember.
You probably. I mean, he was only a little kid at the time. It's not like he wasn't like a crazy standout kid where he was like the best of all the kids. But you could tell he had a lot of potential. And I just remember, short little bald kid, and he would just whip kids to the head with kicks. And, Villafane would sit him down in the corner and stuff all the time. And now he like came back to me like a couple of years ago. And he went to Thailand for a while. And like him and Joel and Mike Ortiz have pretty much like just really taken our kickboxing program to the next level, which is awesome. And Reggie's got fights coming up. Yeah, Big Sean just won a fight. Shout out to Big Sean. But I mean, I tell all the MMA guys too, and this is one thing. The only thing I wrote down when I was like, "Oh, I'm having Robinson on," I was like, "Oh, I got to write this down," because there's one thing that I talk about a lot that I feel like people don't respect as much as the experience level before you go into like an amateur MMA fight or obviously a pro MMA fight, because there's amateur ranks now, which we didn't have. Maybe in before you did an MMA fight, I know they started all like the Tiger Showman's guys had it set up. They would always start people with kickboxing matches first and grappling tournaments. And that's pretty much what we did.
Yeah, you wanted to get MMA, you had to, win a grappling tournament, in one of the upper divisions, and then you had to win a couple kickboxing fights before you get the chance to get thrown in there, and get something set up. And they worked it the right way. They don't want to just throw you out there and, either get you hurt or disappointed and not want to do it again. They built you up. So they got you the experience you needed to be able to put the pieces together, which makes sense. A lot of these people come in now and they come in the gym and like, I want to fight, and they don't know what it is. And then you put them out there one time and they're not going to come back because, they're not ready for it. So like throwing a kid in the deep end of the pool, you can't do that. You got to get them used to it.
Yeah, a lot of guys don't understand that. They just want to jump right to MMA because they've seen Conor McGregor and, they're like, oh, I knocked a couple guys out. I'm like, really? Were they drunk? Was it 2 a.m? You know what I mean? Was the guy in your weight class and also jacked with tattoos? You know what I mean? And doesn't care about getting punched. So I mean, like, even the Ray Longo. I mean, one of our guys. Our guys still Bryant and like when we go up to New York and we do kickboxing fights or MMA fights up there, we're still fighting Ray Longo, Matt Serra team. And our squad, even though it was Tiger Showman's back in the day, all the guys that we had. That was our main rival. I feel like everybody else we fucking scraped, except for a couple of those kickboxing schools that had a lot of good guys. Like remember Maseo would battle with that guy Remy, right? Is that him? He's still big out here. Yeah. So like we always fought those guys, and we always fought Sarah and Longo guys. So like I don't even know where was I going with that. What were we? The kickboxing matches. Yeah, I mean they did the same thing. That's the whole point I was trying to make. They did the same thing. Like Luke Kumo. Like, was he on you were the first one out of all of our crew here from the Pennsylvania crew that did a fight of any sort. Like we always did the Challenger Champions, you know, which and we did Naga, right? And that was probably like what, 299?
I think our first Naga or Grappler's Quest was like 2000. We started doing those 2001, something like that. I think the first Grappler's Quest I won was 2001. But the champion started in the mid 90s, you know, but that was obviously different. But the grappling came in late 90s, you know, that was all in-house stuff. But you know, once we started doing the Nagas and the Grappler's Quest, it's kind of nice to see how we stacked up.
Yeah, and it was in-house stuff, but I mean, dude, some of those guys were beasts, and they always let the Russian guys in too.
Yeah, they would let some other guys in too, which is kind of nice. Remember Garzilla beasting on some Russian guy in the pre-fighting.
Yeah, controlled kick to the head.
Yeah.
But that's what's crazy though, because when you got your black belt, you were allowed to do grappling, and you could take the guy down and grapple him for a minute, and there wasn't like restrictions on submissions, right?
No,
it wasn't like no heel hooks or nothing. Yeah, you could do everything.
Dude, they got you know, you got sparring gear on, so you got like boots on, and you're doing heel hooks on people. It's, you know, you got a nice little lever there.
You know what? I looked through my shit, man. Like I have some cool stuff, but somebody got to have some of this footage. Do you have anything or no?
No, I never took pictures or recorded anything, which kind of sucks. I wish I
did. Damn it. These kids don't know, bro. They don't know. Like, I wish that I had that stuff. What about the video of you fighting the one where I lost, Reality Fighting 3? Do we have that video anywhere?
I had clips on a computer somewhere. I don't know. They're probably on a hard drive somewhere. I don't know.
Yeah, but after that, like, yeah, we started going to Nagas, and like, I'm trying to think, what was the first time? Well, I know we all got beat. I know I can still remember Amir Galami just being stuck in some guy's guard and not being able to get out. But like, also he took his shirt off too. Like everybody was like going with no shirts and shit. Back in the day. Now we make fun of that, you know. But that's how it started. And I also remember vitamins and minerals.
Yeah, I think I had Adidas like mesh shorts on and no shirt. Femi, what's his name? He used to heel hook everybody. Yeah, he got me to heel hook. I didn't tap, but I was definitely limping afterwards.
Yeah, so that's what people don't get. I try to explain, like, dude, there were heel hook guys back in the day, and they were feared. People didn't want to go against them. Like, fuck, I got to go against that guy. He only goes for legs.
Right.
But yeah, I remember we went. I know Amir was the first one of us to win a grappling tournament, and then you won the second one. I know. And then I remember I had one where I finally won beginner division. Remember, I like sawed off 4 guys. And then I fought this one dude in the finals. Koji Bamba is his name. And I still remember that because I'm friends with him on Instagram. So
there you go.
It's funny how that shit works out. But yeah, that was like that's why I wanted to bring that up to you, because so that way it's not just me and JM saying it and other guys that from my school that listen to this podcast. Like, you know, it's not a new thing that I came up with and I'm like testing it out. This is I don't understand why you would think this is the way it goes. Like proofs in the pudding. How many Tiger Showman guys are in UFC?
Right. You know, plus too, like no one understands until they're out there what it's like fighting in front of a bunch of people under lights. The build up ahead of time, the waiting around, like that just drains you. So if you're going to go in an MMA fight with no experience of being on that stage, you're going to get hurt. You know, you're not going to have a good time. It's not going to be a recipe for success. But if you can get that out of the way in some sweaty gym in, you know, Long Island and kind of get used to it, then when you get to the point where you're fighting in a ring or a cage, then it's not as big a deal. You know, you're still going to be nervous, but at least you're going to know how to deal with it.
Exactly. Yeah. How about like, you know, let's say you did, you know, my ideal goal for people, and I try to tell them is like, what if you did like 4 kickboxing matches and you were like 2-2? So you're like striking's like, okay, you're pretty solid, but like, you know, maybe you just got outstruck one time, but you know, you're starting to look pretty good and you're 2-2, and you know, your cardio is like, you know, maybe your first 2 fights, like your cardio was just in the shitter and you got tired, but you figured that out by your 4th fight. And then, you know, you've also did like 10 grappling matches and like you're now not in, like, I try to tell people, like, what makes you think you're going to fight an MMA fight when at the grappling tournament, you can't win a match in beginner?
Right.
Or intermediate. Like, do you think you should be, like, I know this is, you know, it sounds like dickheadish, but the word intermediate, like if you're an intermediate level grappler and you're going in an MMA fight, ooh, that just doesn't sound like you know what I mean? I want to be like at least being able to hang at expert or win matches and then be like, okay, because you want to have, I feel like you want to go in more prepared than less. And like, I just feel like telling guys like JM will be like, all right, well, how are you going to win this fight? Like what? Like
game plan.
Yeah, how are you gonna win? Like you know, like dude, I know I got in a weird situation because I took the fight that I fought first MMA. I did that before I did kickboxing matches, the exact opposite of what I'm telling people to do right now.
Right.
But
You were
the
thrown in
guy,
as a replacement. That wasn't
yeah,
like a setup kind of scheduled thing.
yeah, and I was supposed to have a kickboxing match, but it got canceled.
Yeah.
You know, so but I wasn't stupid about it though. I didn't want to just fight MMA. I went back and I kept doing grappling tournaments, and I remember people wanting to kill me because I won that fight. I remember in grappling tournaments, guys like, remember we almost got in a fight with that guy Jordan Damon.
Yeah.
That time, like that was crazy. And then like I remember going back and also fighting kickboxing matches too. And so did you. We didn't just do one. Guys did more. They'd be like in between MMA fights, they'd be fighting kickboxing matches. You know,
And back then
like,
there wasn't as much stuff, so whatever you could get on the books and get scheduled, you were taken. You know, like
yeah,
if it was kickboxing or there's a the grappling tournaments were once every other month or every month or something. There's something in New Jersey, but you know, so like you showed up for everything just to stay busy.
Golden Gloves.
Yeah, Golden Gloves too. Yeah, that was a good experience. You know, and I think anything that can kind of take you out of your comfort zone and test you in other ways is good.
Yeah, especially if you've never competed on any stage in front of people. Like, you know, a guy like one of our guys, Thad Frick. A little bit different for him. He had over 100 wrestling matches. You know,
Yeah,
in college. You know what I mean? Let alone high school. So like the guy's competing all the time. Now, granted, his stand up, you know, is not. It's not like he grew up a kickboxer. He came in with like a a specialty. You know what I mean? Like he was already a black belt in wrestling. You know, so it's like, okay, it's a little bit different. Like I could teach this guy some stuff. Still not the way I wanted to do it, but we were early on in our MMA, you know, and Thad wanted to fight at that time. And, you know, he was working on his stuff all the time. And like, you know, he won his last fight. Dude's a killer. He's a brown belt now. But, you know, he came in with like some type of experience. Like if you've, you know, played, I don't even know, if you played softball in a beer league softball, it's not like that. You know what I mean? It's
right.
not like that.
You know, and I think it's one thing wrestlers have the advantage of too is because their whole sport is geared toward competition. You know that they're practicing for meets and stuff. You know, from an early age if they're starting young, so they have that experience. Whereas you could be a martial artist your whole life, but you're doing it for you know self defense or for cardio or whatever. You're not constantly competing every Saturday. You know, all day long. Whereas your wrestlers, that's all they're doing. They're not just there for fun. They're there to the practice are geared towards competing. You know, so
Yeah.
and it takes people a while to switch over to that mindset if they're going to be an MMA fighter or you know a kickboxer or whatever. You know, to put that there into practice because you're in class with a bunch of people that aren't all there for the same thing. You know, you're training with people that are there just to release some stress or people that get in shape or looking for something fun to do. Everyone's got different you know motives for training, so it's kind of a little harder if you're coming from jiu-jitsu background or a kickboxing background to make that change. You don't have that experience in that place where everyone's coming from the same kind of thing to help each other get to this. You know, unless you're in competition classes every time, but
Yeah, that's hard.
a school can't run that way. You know.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
really
that-
hard. You know, even the combat jujitsu, man. Like guys think like, oh, I'm just gonna, you know, and they do combat jujitsu, and man, dudes getting that never got struck before like that. But that's one of the reasons why I want to do combat jujitsu is because I think it will help the level. Because I was commentating the fights out here, and I'm not gonna lie, no disrespect to amateurs, but man, the amateurs were really not that good, man.
Yeah.
Like I would expect. I mean, dude, like, it's just so frustrating because like, how do these guys not know? They don't know any escapes from the bottom. They're punching from mount. You're punching the guy in the body, and like it's guys don't know how to take them. It's crazy. Like the level of jujitsu is just not there, and then the level of striking is not there either because the guys don't really have an experience. So I can't really blame them. You know what I mean? I can't blame them for looking like crap because how would they look good? You know what I mean? Like I'd hit the bag and think I look like Tyson, and then you record it and look at it, and you're like, holy shit, like I look like shit. You know, and it's not the same. You know, so. I think combat jiu-jitsu would help the guys learn the ground game with strikes, and like I think it would raise the level. You know, I think it would help to raise the level. But you know, Pennsylvania Commission don't want to hear that out here for some reason.
That's kind of a sad. You know, you hear that.
Yeah, why do you think that is? I don't know. Because there's no gloves, maybe.
Maybe because they don't know. You know, they don't know about it, so they don't want to learn about it, or they're worried that they're going to be, you know, opening themselves up for liability or something. You know, they just need to look to what's going on in California or something, and
Yeah,
see
but
what's out.
liability, like we're signing waivers. Like if you get killed out there, I mean, it's like, you know,
It's more paperwork they have to deal with, or something new they have to learn about.
yeah,
So
it's true.
yeah, you
Yeah,
gotta
and then
deal with government type stuff. It slows down and they get set in their ways. They don't want to have to put extra work in if they don't need to.
yeah, and if they're not already an expert on it, then it's tough to like for people to lose their ego, especially this dude.
Yeah,
Especially this dude.
yeah. I haven't heard
He's
anything positive about him, so
no, last time UFC, or maybe it was the time before. Wasn't it the one UFC me and you took me to go see, or Lanky Fight Gear took us to go see, and they wrote like an article. Or no, that was
that was the
actually
Pittsburgh one. One
yeah.
out of Pittsburgh, they really messed it up. I'm surprised they came back.
I was actually at that one. That's the one.
Yeah,
Casey was there cornering Ashley Evans Smith, and me and JM went. So yeah, that's dude. It's just dumb. I just think I'm thinking of just doing an underground, combat jiu-jitsu matches. Yeah, and just saying, hey, whoever wants to do it, let's get in. Now we'll film it, and then when people ask where that was filmed, I'll just say Venice.
there you go.
Because if no one's like live streaming, I mean, how can they tell? If I don't let any live streaming go and we just record it, and I'll just say, I mean, not that I'm gonna do this, people, but if I did, kind of like that book that OJ wrote, like
O.J.
I'm
Simpson?
sure, but if I did, I would do it exactly like this, which is exactly how it happened because OJ killed his wife. But but then I would just same thing, like they couldn't prove that. What are they gonna do? Take a license away that I don't even have? When the guys want to do it. They don't care about. They're not worried about. And you know what? There hasn't been any crazy injuries. And look, there's going to be a couple whacked out noses, and some people are going to bleed. But what I would do if we did an underground thing, I would just have people have to get the blood test done. You got to just pay for your own blood test. Which how much could that cost? Like $100?
If even, I don't know. I mean, it's pretty quick. I think it's pretty common now for
$150? Yeah, you can go to one of those. They're all over the place. You just go to one of those and like, hey man, pay $150 and like. If you shit, I don't even know how we could do that if we can't sell tickets because we can't promote it. Not that we're gonna do it.
donation based.
Yeah, if we did, but like we just have to tell people like, hey, I don't know, if you bring some people or just be like, yo, come up with $150, dude. You know what I mean? Teach some privates. The blood work's on you, but we'll take we'll get the venue and hide it from wherever, and then we'll just say like, hey, like it was filmed in Venezuela or Zimbabwe, and you can't tell, and then we'll just put the video out later.
There you go.
So
geotagged in your phone or something, and they're gonna know where it is.
damn you. If it's dude, that's it. I need to get Ross the boss might be able to hide that shit.
Oh yeah,
You know,
your IP address.
yeah, I'll just hack. Just be like, dude, Ross, hack the mainframe. So,
There you go.
damn it, I just dropped the thing from the side of my tea bag in my tea. That pissed me off. But yeah, I've been sick for like 2 weeks, man. It sucks.
That time of year.
Yeah, it is. I'm starting to feel better, but like I really don't like going to doctors and everything. But it's like, at this point, it's like, geez, dude.
These kind of colds and stuff, they can't do anything anyway. So it's like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah,
wait
you just gotta wait it out. Because everybody that tells me they go and they get that Z pack or whatever it is, they say they take it and it doesn't do anything anyways.
Yeah, it's like my wife. She took the same thing, and she's like, I don't think it'll work. She's still coughing.
Oh yeah, you told me that too. So there you go. Prime example. But what else was I gonna ask you? Lanky Fight Gear has been sponsoring us forever. Like, what made you want to start? Like, a lot of people listen to this, like, want to start up schools and start up clothing brands and all this other shit. But like, what made you? Obviously, people know the story already that stuff doesn't fit right, so you end up starting the thing. But like, what made you really like want to jump into it and like open up like that?
Yeah, I mean, I was at that time. So it's been. May was 6 years. So 6 years ago, I started it, and
damn, that's long.
Yeah, it's crazy. Really, I don't know. I was working, but I wasn't really happy with my job at the time, and I wasn't able to train a lot. We had one kid and one on the way, and it was just life was busy. So I was training sporadically, and martial arts has been my passion forever. I started training martial arts in 1990.
Yeah, when I met you, dude, just so the guys know, when I first met you, I think you were already a second-degree black belt in karate, or?
Yeah. So I mean, it's almost been 30 years, and when I don't get to train a lot, I kind of get that empty pit in my stomach that something's missing. And I've always wanted to do something kind of for myself, business-wise. And I don't know, I didn't know what I was going to do, but I remember I was driving home visiting family up in PA. I was driving back. It was like late at night. Everybody in the car was sleeping. I was just brainstorming ideas. Something popped in my head because I had just spent money on a gi or whatever that didn't fit right, but it was the exact same size from the same brand as something else. Like, this is just BS. Like, why am I wasting money on this stuff? It doesn't fit. So there's got to be other people who have the same problem. So I started thinking of company names and stuff, and brand names, and Lanky Biker popped in my head. It's kind of a play on word, Yeah, I'm lanky, and I'm sure there's other people lanky out there, and take ownership of it.
Being lanky is a super awesome attribute to have in jiu-jitsu and martial arts. You know what I mean?
Right. I
The
think some
reach.
people might think it's kind of like a, not a good thing, but I think it's good to have. You can control distance and reach, and you got long legs, throwing triangles and stuff, and
Yeah, weird submissions like calf slicers and stuff.
yeah, there you go. So and the fun part was trying to figure out how to set up the business and get the websites going, and what platform to run the website on, and all that kind of stuff was pretty cool. That was just the fun part. Like, I'm an engineer by day, so I like figuring out processes and problem solving and stuff. So it was neat to go through that and figure out, all right, well, I know I need this. How am I going to do it? And that whole process of going through and paperwork and all the computer side of everything and set up bank accounts and stuff. It was neat, because then that's the same for any business. So if I want to do something else later down the line, I already know how to do that part of it, so I can apply that to something else.
Yeah, I actually think that part's really fun. I think
Yeah.
setting stuff up is like really fun.
Yeah, it was neat, And then when I moved to Pennsylvania 2 years ago, I had to kind of redo it again and transfer the name and all that kind of stuff. It was kind of cool, but I already knew what to do. But then, so then I started working with designs, and I started hiring artists, online, with different, things you can go on and tell people you have an idea, and they send you kind of ideas of what they're going to do for it. And I found this guy. He's in Europe somewhere. I forget if he's in like Finland or something like that, but he was a brown belt at the time, so he kind of understand the jiu-jitsu side of it, what I was going for, and he came with the logo, and I was like, that's it. I made him do some tweaks. We got it just right. And once I had that, I found another gi brand I kind of liked, and figured out where their factory was and which factory they used in Pakistan. Started contacting them to get some samples made, and went some back and forth. And then I still remember when I put the big order in. At that time, 100 gis was huge for me.
That sounds like a lot.
It is nothing now, but
Damn.
that was a lot of money to put out there. I remember the bank called the house to make sure I was, the wire was right. My wife answered the phone, and I got a phone call about 2 seconds later, wondering why all this money was going to Pakistan. I told her what was going on. I told her everything would be fine. Don't worry. I had some pre-sales going, but yeah. In the first year, so between May and like October was like the whole like setting up things up and getting everything in, and then the first couple of years I was doubling sales every year, and more designs, and then I started sponsoring people, and it just kind of snowballed, and I tried to grow it organically. You know, about the same time I start, a bunch of brands popped up, and not a lot of them are still around, or if they are, they're not doing much. So it was kind of nice to see that I was able to find my niche. I needed something that kind of set me apart, which is the sizing. And then once that kind of took off, I started the second brand, Standard Kimonos, which is same quality stuff, just cheaper. It's plain, and then I do regular sizing along with the lanky sizing. So because
Nice.
other people from my gym and stuff were asking for gis, but they weren't lanky. It's like, well, I don't really fit you, but I have this other brand that will. So that kind of took over that, and then I can use that for. I started doing like gis for schools with custom, patching and stuff, which is I'm slowly building that up. I haven't rolled that out big time, but I'm kind of maxed out size wise with my basement right now. So
Yeah. I was gonna say, like, where do you keep all that shit? I always see it like in your garage or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, so I get a shipment in my basement, my garage, everything's full of boxes, and luckily things are turning over pretty quick, so I can get stuff out. But eventually, when life slows down with the kids and stuff, I'll have to get a storage place. I want to get a warehouse, and put mats in it, and be able to like kind of have a hangout spot, and maybe hire some kids from the gym to come fill orders and stuff, and grow it that way. But right now, I work all day, come home, get family time, and then when they go to bed, I'm in the basement packing orders. So I don't want to leave the house to go somewhere else to do that.
Yeah, that's kind of like how I feel. Like I'm always thinking like, oh, you know what I'm gonna do, dude? We're gonna get like an office, and I'm gonna go to an office, and blah, blah, blah. But then I think to myself, I'm like, I kind of like being home, with my dogs and my wife, like where I can do shit and like, go downstairs, like you said, or like go in my kitchen or like living room or in our little office area and just work on stuff. So no, they're right there. You know what I mean? She's passed out a door away, and I'm not worried about being away or whatever.
It's just more convenient, and at this point in my life where with work and family and stuff, I think he's right where I need to be. It's bringing in what I need to bring in, and it's growing at the right pace. I don't want to dump more into it and make it too big and then get overwhelmed and not enjoy it anymore. So I'm still enjoying,
Yeah.
and I just got to keep my expectations based in reality. I'm not retiring anytime soon and doing this full time, but I one day that's the plan is, and if I can learn something with this company, maybe I can apply it to a future company. I think the real aspect of it that I want to get out of it is, yeah, I'm selling geese and I might not be able to make millions of dollars off it, but if I can learn something about business or SEO or something, some kind of skill. That's where you can make your money is having a skill that you can sell, not so much just products, but and then apply it, to other people like consulting, kind of like what you're doing with helping everybody else open up their gyms and stuff. Like
Yeah, exactly.
it's a good skill to have, or you can leverage that for future stuff. So
Yeah, I feel like, dude, the more stuff that I learn, the more I can just, like you said, put it right into another aspect of your business,
yeah,
That's really cool, man. That's freaking awesome. And it's the same with us, dude. Like people keep telling us, like, "Yo, you guys should open up some huge warehouse and blah, blah, blah," you know what I mean, and have all this different stuff. And I'm just like, yo, 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 yo. Like live in reality. And everybody who's ever done that has gotten too big too fast
yeah.
and end up tanking out. That's not what I want to happen. So
You got to set it up right. I think it's better to grow out of your space and out of your stuff than instead of trying to grow into something that's way too big. And then you just get frustrated, and how people get frustrated with stuff and give up on it.
yeah,
I
like
don't
you
want
said,
that.
look how many places and how many things that were like, popped up when we were starting up and like they were battling with us neck and neck. And I'd be like, screw these guys or whatever. And then all of a sudden they're not even around anymore.
Yeah, you just got to focus on you and what you do. It makes you
Yeah.
set apart and different. And I think you guys definitely done it right. Growing your school, on your second spot. Well, I guess technically third, but it's cool to see you guys grow like right along because you guys started about the same time. With everything, we kind of been there with doing this and the tournaments and the pocket and all the stuff that you're doing. You're just spreading out. It's neat to see how you can tie all this together with the whole community. Jitsu's
Nice.
cool at that because there's a big community with people sharing. Like there was a lot of groups on Facebook and Instagram in the beginning that would help share new items, and I didn't pay for a ton of advertising. It was a lot of word of mouth and online stuff, people sharing things that kind of help grow, which is neat to see.
Yeah, people are into it, man. And it also makes me feel good that we're sending or we're doing something good and we're not selling like bullshit. Like, there are people out there that still you own your own business, but you're selling something that you're not passionate about or you could care less about.
Yeah.
And we love this shit. So it's like really a blessing that we get to do this all the time because, it's shit we would do anyways. And
Right.
like, look, we were fighting in basements and stuff like that. And, why shouldn't we be the guys like for a while, I didn't have the confidence or didn't think we should. Not that I didn't think, but I always thought like, I don't know, man, like, and it wasn't really till I really got confident in myself and everybody that I was like, you know what, we should be the guys. That's why I still post up a lot of old pictures of us fighting and all this different videos and shit because, I feel like I want people to know about it and it like gives us more clout and it's like a way of free advertising, like you said, because advertising costs a lot of money. But it also just like is like, hey, why shouldn't we be? It gives me confidence because like, why shouldn't we be the guys putting out or selling gear or selling rash guards or doing a
Right.
podcast or whatever? I mean, dude, I've been around since the dawn of time. Now, granted, I'm not like GSP level, but
Right.
like, I've seen everything, dude. I've been at fucking, we've been in, down in Florida, where there's been brawls. We've been out in Cali. We've been in, me and Jam went to Japan. You came to Cali with us for Gracie Nationals and shit. Like that's what the finisher sub only is. I mean, sure we do the brackets like EBI, but the finishers open is Gracie Nationals. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. Yeah, it's
I
cool.
learned it from those guys. I'm like, Rose Gracie and them, and like, no disrespect to that, and Javi Vasquez, and Javi was just over at the school, but like I saw them doing it and all the people running it and stuff, and I'm like, dang, if these guys could do it, we could do it too. I just had to start off small and like, we're probably not going to make shit off this tournament. Like, we'll be happy if we make our money back, but like, we invested in it, and I'm happy with that. Like, I'm not worried. I'm not spending all of my money, but like, I'm happy that we're like available to do it. And we just keep putting money into it, and we just, now that I'm more confident with this, like we're having an open tournament, then we're having we're going to do more shit like that. So,
Yeah, it's cool. And you're in your 10th one, which is crazy, and
yeah,
you're going from being inside a gym to having your own spot with your own mats, and you can see how you've grown it. How many other sub only stuff popped up around the same time, and what number are they on, and what quality are they putting out too. It's not
Yeah,
just
most of them are gone. And like, listen, people always try to tell us too, like, oh, you guys should get, Gordon Ryan. I'm like, listen, Gordon Ryan won the first one. You know what I
now we
mean?
have
But like,
yeah.
yeah. So I don't want to like,
launch his career.
yeah, I don't want to bring in all the guys that everybody already knows sometimes. Sometimes I like to put out the guys that people don't know or don't always have a chance, But like, sure, if you're on the scene killing it, obviously we're going to throw you in, But like, ours is like the come up. This is the word. This is like the come up one. Like so many guys came up off it, and I like putting on like purple belts and throwing a couple blues out there that are like exciting and some purple and brown and like guys who want to travel around the country, make the trip, and then throw the pros in there and like give our guys an opportunity too to do it. Because if not, I mean, look at even fucking Grappler's Quest is gone.
Yeah, if you don't give them an opportunity, there's not going to be another round of big names out there. Where are they going to come from? And the big names, they come in, they want money now because it's a sport you can make money off of, and they want money, and a lot of times they don't want to lose, so they're a little more conservative when they're fighting, and some of the matches aren't exciting, But
Exactly.
You get young guys that need to make a name for himself, and if they have the right mindset where they're going to go out there and put on the line, whether they win or lose, they're going to do well. If they're out there and they're boring because they just are afraid to lose, like you said in the past, you're not going to bring them back.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what, dude? I watch Fight to Win, and I love Seth Daniels, and I hope he never hears this because he'll beat the shit out of me, but with a bat probably. But no, I love Seth, and he's the man. But like, it's not his fault. But like, I know he gets defensive about the show, and I do too. If someone shits on him, I'm like, what the fuck is your problem? It's for free. And like Seth and the crew are working like like dogs out there putting that shit out. But the last Fight to Win I watched, the most exciting matches were the guys who you didn't even know that I didn't even know who they were. They were just throwing down like maniacs going for subs. Dudes are getting, even the gi matches where dudes are getting like subbed in some weird gi choke because the guys are going after it. And then you watch Murillo Santana and Josh Hinger, and then you watch Ty Rotolo, and like everyone's like, oh, Ty, the Rotolo brother just beat Wagner Rocha. I'm like, it was an 8 or 10 minute match, and they literally just stayed on their feet for 8 minutes. And in the last 2 minutes, like there was like kind of a takedown, but kind of a guard pull. And he like De La Riva almost had a leg lock, kind of threw a triangle as he was getting taken down. But it wasn't deep or anything like that. It wasn't close. And that was the match. Then they made a judge decision. And that's bullshit. That's not sub only. You know what I mean? That's points. Because you're just like, hey, let me get this one sub attempt, then I win. And no one's complaining. Like the guys aren't complaining. Like Wagner Rocha, I'm sure is not happy about that. But I mean, dude, what the hell? Like, you put those guys in, they don't want to like, if they make a transition and get their back taken, oh shit. Like, I never understood that, but that's why I'm not one of the big names. But like, dude, it's like, that's why I don't care. Like, let those guys do those matches and people watch them. Like Craig Jones versus Paul Harris. Remember that shit?
Yeah. There's enough stuff to go around, If you're into that, you're into that. If you're not, you got other stuff,
Yeah, and it's not even the tournament. It's the guys. It's on the guys to put it out there. And like you said, because we kind of forced their hand with this, that hey, like if you go out here and shit the bed, like just another promotion's not going to have you. You know what I mean? That's the bottom line. Well, that's what we're trying to do. Like, how many guys came for? I mean, even newer guys who did our tournament first, like guys that aren't even black belts yet, like Ethan Krellinson won it twice, Keith Krikorian, Katia Leon, whatever her name. I can't. Damn it! I can't remember how to say her last name. Russian chick from Danaher who won the thing, and then Nikki Rod did a match in it. Like, we have Ethan Krellinson's younger brother on this one. Like, Ethan's not probably going to do our tournament anymore. He's ADCC beast level. You know what I mean? But people are like, get Ethan to face this guy. I'm like, dude, he's been in our tournament like 3 times, dude. Yeah. Like, now he probably wants money or he's not going to pay to be in it. I need guys that are throwing down $100 that are like, yo, dog, I'm putting the money on me. Let's run this shit. And that's who we got in this one. We got a bunch of guys who are like, let's run it. And we do have good guys. Stanley Rosa got silver medal at ADCC. He's in this one.
Yeah, and you guys do a good job of putting those first couple matches are, making the exciting matchups to get the pace going. Other people see that and they feed off that too. You get a couple snoozers in the first couple of rounds, and then everyone's going to start playing the same kind of game. So
and like I don't like seed the guys. Like people always like, oh, how are they seeded? I'm like, they're not seeded. It's just I just decide like with other people that Abe will throw in and say, hey, dude, maybe this would be a good match or whatever. But Dam's in it, so sometimes he had nothing to do with it. He would just be like, all right, Doug, tell me who I'm facing. And that's kind of how it goes. And I would just be like, okay, I don't want to see like I'm not going to just like for instance, I would put a bunch of leg lockers on the same side sometimes, so that way they have to leg lock each other. Have fun with that, dickheads. And no disrespect leg lock guys. But hey, that's how you in a 16-man tournament, you might have to saw a couple guys off in the beginning with leg locks. And then we'll see how leg locks are like. And then at the end, maybe we'll see like, a strong, because I don't want to see just leg locks. I'm sorry, it's my tournament. It's the I feel like it's a jiu-jitsu community's tournament. They want to see exciting matches. So I might have two guys that don't really do leg locks face each other first round. And you say, hey, that's unfair. Well, it's not unfair because eventually he's going to have to, no matter what, like the Macho Man used to say, the cream will rise to the top. Because eventually the best, like Eddie says this too all the time, like whoever's the best guy is going to win. And that's the, it doesn't matter how you shake them up. Whoever the best guy is that day is going to win the tournament. That's how it is. There's upsets and shit, but you don't know. And it's true. No matter how I seed the brackets, I mean, look who's won. Gordon Ryan, John Calistine, you know what I mean? PJ Barch. Like the best guy's probably going to win anyways. He's even if like, look at PJ, he had to tap like, he beat like 4 or 5. Like he beat Mike Main, Mike Davila, Jason Rao, and Pat Sabatini, I'm pretty sure. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
that's one too. And
yeah, he had to go against the best guy. It's not like he could hide from them. You're gonna have to face the guys eventually.
no one's had an easy road to the finals or anything. And he said it's the best guy on that day. So you run it back the same way another time. You don't know who it's gonna be. It's which is why it's exciting because there's no there's no telling who's gonna win. You got an idea, but that day it could be somebody else.
Yeah, and if someone gets shook up that day or like is sick or whatever, you don't know. And then we got all that. We got the women's too. We got the 85, and then the super fights in the beginning is just like, it's like just show outs. Like I just want you to go out there 6 minutes, just go out there and show out, like throw down, have fun. You know what I mean? Go for moves. And I'm really excited that it's local this time.
Yeah.
Because we've been going to Jersey forever, so make these guys come through here. So that's this weekend. If my brother gets us out first. Or before then, that'll be awesome. Shout out to my brother Paul. If you guys need podcasts and shit, his commercial's usually at the end. But dude, I'm dying over here. My nose is like, do I sound really stuffy?
You sound a little stuffy now, yeah.
God damn it.
Not too bad though.
Yeah, it sounds like, dude, it sounds like someone like put like a clown nose on my nose and I can't breathe. So I'm dying. So I'm probably gonna wrap this up. But dude, thanks so much, man, for coming on. I hope I did this correctly, but yeah, it's recording for 43 minutes now. So, just dude, hope the fam's doing well. You said you guys are coming though, right? 2 of you guys are coming, right?
Yeah, I'm bringing my parents. So they live 10 minutes from the venue, so I'm gonna drop my daughter.
Nice.
Out of town this weekend, so I'm gonna drop my daughter off with my parents, and then I'm gonna bring the 2 boys.
Nice. Okay.
Good time at the last one they came to.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure they've been there a couple of times already. So this should be cool. There's a DJ at this one. It's a huge open space, so people have room to run around or, whatever. And like I said, the goal is just to pump these guys up. And I appreciate you guys. Like Lanky's one of our main sponsors every time. You're always like, bro, like, because it sucks. Like, I don't want to hit dudes up for money and shit like that. But you're just like, hey, dude, Lanky's in for everything. I'm like, yes. That helps out so much.
Going on. We're there.
Yeah, Lanky Fight. Do you want to give any, like, what do you call them? I don't even know what the fuck. Plugs.
We do have big Black Friday sale coming up. So best thing to do is join the newsletter on the website. You can go down to the bottom. It says get connected. You can type your email in there. We'll send out an update before Black Friday with all the details. We got some new drops, lots of sales. Things sell out quick, so if you're gonna get something, rash guards or shorts or gis or whatever, make sure you're jumping on it. Thanksgiving night at midnight, that's when it's gonna go live. So you want to get your size, do that. But yeah, you can go to LankyFG.com, RollAmongus.com. They all go to the same spot. So you hit the website up. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook for any more news. And that's it. I appreciate you having me on. It was awesome.
Yeah, hell yes, man. And also too, this Friday night, Lanky, and it's cool how this works. Lanky sponsored athlete Kevin Burbrick will be in town. He's the main event at the Finishers tournament. Last minute replacement. Andrew Alexander got hurt. And I just threw up in the 10th Planet, our little 10WO thing, our little Illuminati chat. And I was like, hey, anybody 170 black belt wants to throw down? And Gio was like, tag Kevin Burbrick. And I just hit him up, and like Kevin's been sponsored by Lanky for a couple of years now, I'm sure,
Long
right?
time. Yeah, he's like one of the first ones. So
Nice, yeah, and he's lanky as fuck. So Andrew Kochel, shout out to him. He's gonna have a hell of a time dealing with that length because I rolled a burn brick mad times, dude, and he is fucking weird as shit to roll with, dude.
yeah,
He is an octopus, really. Like
Yeah.
he'll go double unders. You'll be in mount, and he'll go double unders where you're like crotches right in his face, and somehow he's like entangling his legs and triangling my neck and shit. The dude is an octopus, so that'll be pretty dope. If anybody wants to come to that seminar Friday night, 6 to 7:30, donations welcome. Help him out because he's flying out here on his own dime to do this match. So, yeah, man, appreciate you, bro. Love you, and I will talk to you soon, hopefully. And oh yeah, I'll see you Saturday, and then you know, dude, we'll keep doing this podcast. We'll get you back on.
sounds good, man. Have a good
So,
one.
all right, thanks, brother. Peace, mate.
Take it easy.